Salutations, fellow Motorhead fans, thinkers, and obviously drinkers. Yes, we're continuing with our review of the Motörhead catalogue. Last time out, we discussed Overnight Sensation, and I said what a triumph it was for the newly reconstituted three-piece. I think, it was a great confirmation for them that they could, just the three of them. They still had what it took. And perhaps they were signs that they were taking things to a new level. Not that you should be expecting a progressive rock album. And if you are, you're in for a disappointment. But again, they had to follow up, which they were doing, every second year now, in between interminable bouts of touring. But after the superb Overnight Sensation, obviously, they needed a new record. And there was even more confusion than usual in Motorhead land surrounding this. According to legend, 6 weeks prior to recording this, they didn't have a single song. I think even for Motörhead, that's, pushing it a little bit. And at the time, and subsequently, both Lemmy and Mikkey D have expressed reservations about what came to be Snakebite Love, released in 1998. Lemmy apparently was ill during the writing recording process, and so Phil and Mickey had to pick up the slack. And Lemmy Riley commented that's why some of the songs may sound a bit strange, because they were written by people who don't have to sing. Strange that it's not that well regarded. Then I don't know. Both of them have a bit of a downer on it. I think more Mickey than Lemmy. I've not really heard anything what Phil Campbell's opinion on this is. But this opinion seems to be shared by quite a lot of the fans. That it's seen as a bit of a blip. Well, we shall see. We shall see. This represents Howard Benson's fourth and final contribution as producer. And what I'm about to say may just be a little controversial, so we'll have to see. Well, ultimately, though, what did they deliver? Well, the album starts off in absolutely ass-kicking, raucous, fun style with Love for Sale. We are Motorhead and we play rock and roll. Yes, they very much do. This is rock and roll in a true Motorhead style. Great riff. It's a hell of a groove. It's got a great hook, and it's actually great lyrics. They're worth reading. They really are. This remains, to this day, one of my very favorite Motorhead songs. They followed up with Dogs of War, which is more metal than rock and roll, but it's got another really great groove to it. And there's a very catchy pre-chorus chorus. It's another one, instantly memorable. And this is another really strong start. Things are looking good. The title track up next. Apparently this, when Mikkey D recorded his drum tracks for all the songs, when Phil and Lemmy came to record their parts, they decided they didn't like the song, and so they rewrote it to the original existing drum track. You wouldn't notice something like that. You see quite a dramatic, drastic change, but it's not noticeable. This is fast. It grabs the attention. Great musical dynamics. The lyrics are really silly, but they're fun. And it makes you smile. I really like it. Normally when the band has a title track, it's something that they give a bit of extra effort to. That is, almost the selling point of the album, isn't it? And I think this is a really good title track. It's just so much fun to listen to it. It's a great song. More metal up next in the form of Assassin. This is perhaps not quite up to the standard of the previous three, but I mean, the drop is not considerable. It's still really good. They've picked up the pace considerably again. It's hard, it's driving, it's just absolutely Motorhead. And there's an interesting instrumental break towards the end, a little bit of a drum solo. And and then some bass and guitar coming into it. Maybe they are going progressive. Who knows? Next one's an absolute classic. Take the Blame, Ferocious. Despite a keyboard solo. I know. A frightening concept. But they make it work. This is another one, 100 miles an hour, great lyrics, politician, eat your words. It's Lemmy again taking a well-deserved poke at our, craven political classes. Some themes are just eternal, aren't they? This really hits the spot. There's another really, really great live number, and as Lemmy himself, when introducing it on the Everything Live and Everything Else live record, he said, "Do not try to dance to this. You will just fuck yourself up." All right, he was. Change of pace up next with Done Gone. An acoustic intro, which Lemmy sings over. It morphs into a slow, more of a grinder, but it's heavy. It's a different construction for Motörhead, slightly more ambitious, you may say. Maybe this is one of the examples which Lemmy referred to when he says, "Oh God, two people who don't have to sing start writing things." But no, I don't see any discrepancy between the music and the vocal melody. I think it all comes together very well on what is a really strong song. And again, really, for an album that's seen as a bit of middle of the road, I think it's bloody good this far. Now we get to a contentious song, Nightside. This one, Mickey D has openly expressed disdain for, and even Lemmy, although in slightly kinder terms. I think he indicated at some point that this was unfinished. Well, I don't know. I don't know what they had in their minds, but it doesn't sound unfinished. It's another fast one. It's another, foot to the floor. But it's a good, strong composition. Maybe not the best track on here. Again, they're playing around with the arrangements. It's not just, the same from the start to the finish. 3 minutes of blah 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 blah. I like it. May not be their best song, but it's far from their worst. Okay, we move on to Don't Lie to Me, which is more back in the rock and roll vein. It's good, it's catchy, it's fun. It's, certainly not filler. It's not something I would describe as, in any way vastly inferior. If you want a point of reference, think of maybe Crazy Like a Fox from Overnight Sensation or Born to Raise Hell from Bastards. Just not quite as good. Just doesn't quite get there. But it's still a fine effort. Now we get on to Joy of Labor. Now, this I'll refer to as the epic. Not because it's a 10-minute song or anything like that. It's just, it has those, it's a slower, more dramatic piece, which gives it those sort of epic characteristics, properties, if you like. Great riff. It's a little bluesy. Don't hear this often, but still heavy. There's a really, it's Lemmy, I should say. His contributions, I think, really elevate this. There's a very sound backing track, but his playing is good. But it's his top line, the tune he creates, the vocal melody on it. And again, little touches of musical dynamic here. I keep making the point, they're maturing. There's enough evidence of this. It should be apparent. But he learns to pause, to hold back. His vocal delivery, it's really good on here, and it really makes the song one of my favorites from the album. There's also a really nice duet of a solo with Phil and Lemmy. Some interesting playing. Nice to listen to. Desperate for You up next. Another one Lemmy, admitted a sort of a lack of affection for, shall we say. Again, I have to say, I'm not sure why. It's not earth-shatteringly original. Was that what we were expecting? I think not. Um, it's more in the rock and roll vein. It bounces along nicely. It's got a good groove. It's good fun. Yeah, it's not letting the side down. It really isn't. The album ends with "Better Off Dead," which is another sort of Thousand Mile an Hour song, and it's a decent, if not outstanding, effort. Yeah, they could have. Yeah, not the best ending to a Motorhead album, I have to say. The chorus, particularly, is a bit weak. You have the feeling they could have worked a little harder on this one somehow. There is something just missing there. Bit by the numbers. There you have it. Snakebite Love. It's another good production. It's loud, it's clear, it's well balanced. It's a good Motorhead production, I think. Everybody's playing really well on this. Absolutely no complaints on that score. And for me, it is an extremely high, consistent high standard when it comes to composition. There's not a weak song on it. A couple are better than others, but that's just life. But no, I really, really think that this is a strong effort. Which means, they're about to close out the decade, well, the millennium, in fact. And for my money, they close it out much better songwriters than they were 20 odd years ago. I know everybody talks about Overkill, Bomber, Ace of Spades, etc., etc. And yes, we talk about them for a reason. I like them. And if you doubt that, check out my reviews. But as I said at the time, they would get better. And I think this album is a really good example of it. I'm maybe in the minority here. It doesn't seem to have that much love, even amongst the fan base. I don't get it. It's always been one of my favorites. Again, consistently strong composition, some interesting composition, some good arrangement, and what is most important, well, it's just a collection of fucking good songs. As I said last time, they have been on a roll since Bastards. So that their longest roll in their career so far. They have, even since the beginning, as in Bomber was not their strongest effort. They've had a habit of punctuating their career with sort of less than stellar numbers, stellar releases. But no, ever since Bastards, they seem to have found a new lease of life. Well, we will pick the story up next time as we enter the new millennium. And yeah, there are some changes afoot, but we won't spoil the surprise, will we? As usual, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Am I too kind to this? Am I right and everybody else is wrong? More than likely. Let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for your indulgence. Be well, and until next time, Maçhonquèrre.